On the southern coast of China, thousands of wooden crates are destroyed. Not weapons, not gold. Opium, a narcotic that had become the center of one of history's most explosive conflicts. Within a few years, one of the world's most powerful empires, the Qing dynasty of China, would face the military force of a distant island nation, Britain. The conflict that followed would reshape trade, power, and international relations for generations. This is the story of the First Opium War. At the beginning of the 19th century, two great powers stood on opposite sides of the world. On one side was China under the Daoguang Emperor. China saw itself as the Middle Kingdom, the center of civilization. For centuries, Chinese silk, porcelain, and tea had been desired across the world. On the other side stood United Kingdom. Britain was changing rapidly. Factories multiplied, industry expanded, trade routes stretched across oceans. But Britain had a problem. The British loved Chinese tea. They bought huge amounts of Chinese goods. China, however, had little interest in British products. As a result, silver flowed out of Britain and into China. The imbalance worried British merchants and officials. They wanted something China would buy. They found it in opium. The drug itself was not new. Opium had existed for centuries. But the scale of trade changed dramatically. The British East India Company controlled large territories in India. Farmers were pushed toward cultivating opium poppies. The opium was processed and sold through a system of auctions. Then traders carried it toward China. Officially, China had restricted or banned the drug. But demand grew. Smuggling networks expanded. Profits became enormous. Silver that had once flowed toward China now moved out of it. Meanwhile, addiction spread. Officials warned of serious consequences. Workers became dependent. Military readiness suffered. Government leaders became alarmed. Inside the Qing government, a difficult debate unfolded. Some argued that legalization and taxation might reduce problems. Others demanded stronger action. One official emerged as a determined voice, Lin Zexu. He believed opium threatened China's people and stability. In 1839, he was sent to the southern trading center of Canton. His mission was clear: end the opium trade. He moved quickly. Chinese authorities pressured merchants to surrender their stock. Foreign traders found themselves trapped. Tensions rose. Britain's merchants demanded protection. China refused to back down. Then came a dramatic moment. Chinese authorities seized more than 20,000 chests of opium. Near human, the contents were destroyed. Salt, lime, and water were mixed together. For weeks, the narcotics were systematically eliminated. To Chinese officials, this was law enforcement. To many British voices, it represented destruction of valuable property. Neither side viewed the situation the same way. The gap between their perspectives widened. Diplomatic tensions accelerated. War moved closer. British leaders argued that trade rights and national interests had been violated. Military action gained support. Soon, warships headed toward China. This would not be a conflict between equal military systems. China possessed large armies, but many weapons and tactics reflected older methods. Britain had industrial advantages: steam-powered vessels, modern naval guns, better artillery, military organization shaped by recent wars. The coming conflict would reveal a major technological gap. British forces struck key locations along China's coast. Ships bombarded defenses. Cities and ports came under pressure. Chinese soldiers fought back. Resistance existed at many points, but British technology repeatedly created advantages. Cannons outranged many Chinese defenses. Naval mobility allowed rapid movement. One by one, strategic positions became vulnerable. The Qing government faced increasing pressure. The conflict exposed weaknesses that had previously been hidden. Questions emerged. Had China fallen behind militarily? Could traditional systems survive a changing world? By 1842, the war approached its conclusion. China agreed to negotiate. The result became the Treaty of Nanjing. Its terms changed China's relationship with foreign powers. Several ports were open to trade. Large payments were required. And one island was transferred to Britain. That island was Hong Kong. The treaty became one of the first of what later became known as unequal treaties. For many Chinese historians, it marked the beginning of a difficult era. The First Opium War lasted only a few years, but its consequences lasted far longer. It transformed trade. It changed diplomacy. It altered the balance of power in East Asia. The war also left historical debates that continue today. Was it a conflict about free trade, about empire, about economics, about sovereignty? Perhaps it was all of these at once. History rarely moves because of a single cause. Often it changes when commerce, politics, technology, and human decisions collide. The First Opium War was one of those moments, and its effects still echo into the modern world.